effort, not achievement. Y'all know that? Dr. Johnson, special ed works for my son. I don't know what you're talking about. He's been failing every report card period. But the minute I put him in special ed, he made the honor roll. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. And nowhere on that report card is it telling you that they grade based on effort, not achievement. That's why special ed looks like it works, because you don't find out that the boy can't read until he graduates. Fred Douglass Martin Garden Academy will see those special ed. We will have a special program for the deaf. We will have a special program for the blind. We will have a special program for the autistic children, and we will have a special program for the serious mental illness children, psychotic, the schizophrenia. First, we got to make sure just like the ancestors trying to bust through. But the real schizophrenia, okay? We're going to have a program for no special ed, no learning disability, no math, no ADHD, no conduct. That's all nonsense. I don't need none of that in my school. You know why? Because they live with me, not with you no more. So when I say do something, it gets done, or you suffer the consequences. That's the remedy for ADHD. That's right. That's how we handle conduct disorder. All these fathers in the room, most of the fathers in this room right now ain't got no ADHD problems out their son. Because we got medicine. We got medicine. So you don't get ADHD till 1980, 1990 when they start locking fathers up. That's where the ADHD come from. It grew out of the mass incarceration of black fathers. We're going to lock the daddy up for selling crack, and then we're going to give the son crack, call it Metadate, Concerta, Ritalin, and Adderall. Now he can sit still long enough to be miseducated by teachers and don't even care whether he makes it or not. I'm just being honest. It's not racist, it's the truth. I'm not going to say every white teacher don't like black kids or got it out for black kids. I mean, some excellent white teachers, yo. I had some work for me. Excellent. They came to work early, stay late. They were good teachers. But in the general scheme of things, most of them are not like that. In the general scheme of things, if it's up to me, our kids are going to be in front of somebody who look like them because we have a natural stake in their success. Because we've been there before. And we know what the long-term outcome is if he don't make it. That ain't being racist. It's called being realistic. That's right. Since when did being realistic become racist? I'll put that on the t-shirt. So, y'all understand? Education must be free. It must be appropriate. It must be in the least restricted environment. What does it mean, parents? It means if your son only needs one class of math, he only needs one class of math. If he in special ed half the day, and he only needs one class of math, they violate the least restrictive environment. Your child only needs 1 day of special ed, but he getting 4 days of special ed. They violate the least restrictive environment. This says you cannot be in special ed any longer than what is absolutely necessary for you to learn. Now, I'm willing to bet, for most of y'all who got kids in special ed, I bet you they in full time. If they black, I'm willing to bet they in there full time. You know why? Because the only reason why the teacher referred them for testing in the first place is to get them the hell out the class. Oh, y'all follow me? I know he full-time because the teacher, and let me tell you how trifling it gets. When I was in the school district of Philadelphia, one of my white colleagues, right, he was dating the teacher at a middle school. He was Jewish, she was Irish, that's irrelevant, they were white. The teacher had a kid in the class who she did not like. Guess what she did? She went to her boyfriend. This all came out later, this is how I know it. She went to the boyfriend and told her boyfriend to get him out my class. And guess what he did? He called the mom and said, can you sign his permission to evaluate? We can see if your son has a problem. And the mom signed, and he tested your son, and then he came back and said the boy had a reading disability. He had a reading disability. His girlfriend wanted him out the class, and he obliged her. Y'all don't understand what y'all dealing with. That's why I always tell parents, if you want your child tested, test them yourself. Pay a private psychologist. Don't let the school do it because they have an agenda. Are y'all following me?
That's right.
Private psychologists, they just want to get paid. They ain't got no agenda. Hopefully. Okay? But you got to make sure they ain't tied to somebody with the school because they'll set you up too. Okay? You say, well, I pay taxes in Maryland. Even though my child go to a private school, I got a right to a free public psychoeducational evaluation. That's true. If you pay taxes, even if your child is homeschooled or private school, you can go to the local neighborhood school that the child would have been at, had they been going to public school and they got to do the eval. I know because I do them all the time. Everybody heard me? You can get a free eval if your child don't go to public school. Yes, you can. But at what price? It's free? Is it going to be well done? They're going to rush it. It's going to be garbage. And guess what? School psychologists do the same thing special ed teachers do. Remember how we just said they take an old IEP and change the name? Guess what they do with the psych reports? I'm testing the kid for reading disability. 3rd grade. I ain't got time for this. Let me go find one of the other kids. Remember, we do thousands. I got hundreds of evals saved on my flash drive. So if I'm an unscrupulous Negro psychologist, it only takes me a minute to find another 3rd grader, pull that one out, change a few sentences, change the name, date, pupil ID. There you go. And you reading the report as the mom, this don't sound nothing like my daughter. It ain't! Well, who gonna tell you that? Oh, and let me tell you what else psychologists do. If you get a super long report, Dr. Johnson, my son got the best school psychologist in Maryland. My psych report was 75 pages. You really think somebody sat there and typed 75 pages? You know what they did? They have these things called scoring software. All you have to do is put the numbers on the program and your computer will type it for you. And guess what you get? 75 pages of information that don't tell you nothing about your child because the computer did it. It was a printout. When I was principal, I had to get on my psychologist for that. I said, come here, Finch. You forgot, I'm one of you. You know that, right? You know this. This 75 pages, this is a computer program. Don't be bringing my parents no computer program. You test the child, you type the report. And they'll give you, and you say, oh my God, he's the best psychologist I met. The program had this and recommendations in the report. He had a picture of my kid in the report. He had cartoons in it. If that report is more than 20 pages, computer printout. Why is that bad? Because it's not unique to your child. You got to understand something. What I see is more important than the scores I get. Did y'all hear that? What I see when I'm testing is more important than the scores that I get. So if they're not putting their observations into the eval, it's not personalized on your child. I got to be careful of that. Email address to send resumes. Let me put it up there. This might be the smallest board I've ever seen. It's fdmgresumes@gmail. Send me your resume. fdmgresumes@gmail.com. Somebody asked me the other day, are you gonna have any white folks at me? I don't have no choice. You know why? If I opened up a private school for black boys and I ain't got no white employees, I'm going to be charged with racial discrimination. And I will be shut down. So guess what? I need y'all to help me find a couple good white people. So what? You want to work? No, but seriously. All right, so when the newspaper comes to you, you got to get up there and say, no, Dr. Johnson, he's the best. So I said, what if a white parent wants their child to come? He gets into the lottery too. I can't discriminate based on race. Now, if you want your white son to learn about voodoo and ancestral ceremony, I got a problem with that. Set him on that. Sure. So, I got that, fdmgresumes@gmail. Let me run through these diagnoses real quick. So we got SLD, Specific Learning Disability, AU, for autism, ED, emotional disturbance, MR, mild mental retardation, OHI/ADHD, other health impairment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the big black 5. Most black kids in special ed are in for one of these learning disabilities. Reading, math, writing, listening, speaking. Autism, verbal or nonverbal communication, receptive and expressive. Emotional disturbance. He's going to jail. Seriously. Never let your child get tested for emotional disturbance. Y'all don't listen. How do I know they're going to test them? Because they say we need to test them for behavior. That's the only behavioral label in special ed. If the school says he needs to be tested for behavior in the school, we don't diagnose ADHD in school. The only behavioral label we diagnose in school is ED. So mothers, listen, daddies, listen, if they say we need to test for behavior, no, you may not. Because they're going to give your son that, emotional disturbance. They're going to put him in the classroom, in the basement, around the corner from Fred Krueger. He won't be allowed to come out, not even for lunch. The bathroom is in there. The lunch is in there. Y'all know that class, right? The boys go in and you don't see them to the end of the day. They even got bars on the door. Emotional disturbance.
It's terrible.
And when you go there, who's emotionally disturbed? The teacher. You ever see an ES teacher? She got a black eye, busted lip, arm in a sling. They stick her in there with 13 boys like, oh my goodness. I feel for them.
And they put the most incompetent teachers
in the ES class. Yep.
So there is no learning.
He's going to jail. I better stop that. Put my child in those emotionally disturbed class. This whole school emotionally disturbed. And then other health impairment, ADHD sneaks in. It sneaks in. Because ADHD is not special ed. ADHD is mental illness. But it sneaks in. Why does it sneak in? Because special ed says if you have a health problem that affects your ability to learn, you can go in special ed for that health problem. ADHD falls under what? Psychiatry. Psychiatry is a branch of medicine. So you can sneak ADHD in special ed by putting it under OHI. But the only way I can sneak your kid in special ed under ADHD is if you tell me he got the diagnosis. In other words, mothers, y'all talk too much. Why are you telling the school that your son was diagnosed with ADHD at the community hospital? What earthly good is it going to do him for the school to know he got an outside diagnosis? That's just what the teacher needed. I got him now. Mama said he got ADHD. You should have kept that to yourself. Because what you don't realize is that teachers are the new police officers. The school is the new jail. And anything you tell them can and will be used against you. Keep your family business private. Oh, his father just got locked up. I'm working 2 jobs. I got 5 kids. You ain't getting no damn sympathy. But you just gave him the key to get the forced medicine. She said the father just got locked up. She working 2 jobs. She got 4 kids in the house. So all we got to do is keep calling her to come pick him up early every day. And sooner or later, she's going to get tired of it. And her job might let her go. So she's going to have to put him on that medicine. Because you ran your mouth. What do I tell my mamas? I tell my mamas to tell them you married and the father home, even if he ain't. That's right. Where's his father? At work. He worked 2 jobs to pay the bills. Yeah, he's out of town right now. He drives trucks. I'm not telling them the truth. Mothers, I'm telling you, mothers, don't tell them the truth. Do not do that. Do not do that. Or you say his uncle lived with you. Uncle might not, he might even got an uncle. You get one of the brothers on the street. You go into the school meetings with you. This is uncle, yes. What you got with my nephew? You have to show that you got that masculine, feminine balance in the house, because if not, they'll load up on you. They will load up on you. And what does the research say? If the teacher perceives that the child comes from a single parent, unemployed mother, he's more likely to be sent home and suspended. That's right. The teacher look at you the first day of school and say, she don't work. We can load on her. That's what they do. She don't work. You can load on her. And make sure you always get a complete copy of your child's educational record every 3 years. Every 3 years, you write a letter to the principal. Dr. Umar Johnson, I'm requesting a complete copy of my son's educational record. This is my right under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, of 1974. Parents, please remember this law. 2 sentences. Principal Johnson, I requested a complete copy of my child's educational record. I understand this to be my rights under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. I want this to include behavioral records, main office record, discipline, academic, all testing. I want a complete copy of my child records. Why do y'all need to do that every 3 years? Because you need to know what the hell is in it. Stuff going there every day and you never see it. Every day. And once you go through the record, you find something you don't like, what can you do? You can challenge and get it taken out. I hear that, fathers? One of the teachers wrote up something that made it look like your son was going to beat her up when all he did was brush up against her. I don't like the way this sounds. This can affect my boy down the road. I want this out. Every school district has an official whose job is to hear parent challenges to the documentation in the child's record. You talking about my son straight A's and B's, and he got turned down by the best high school in Maryland. You know why? Because they looked at his record. And they made that boy look like he was crazy in that record. And you never went through the record yourself, and now it's too late. They criminalized your son on paper, and you didn't know that most of the paperwork on your child, you never see it unless you request it. Privacy. This also means they can't talk about your business with other teachers, but they do.
Sure do.
If you find out a teacher is telling any other adult or parent about your personal life, you was on drugs or y'all homeless, and she shared that, she can lose her job. Because that's a violation of the child's privacy. And I'm telling you, working in the school, teachers violate it all the time. I used to have to tell my teachers, excuse me, do you have an educational need to know that kid's business? Because if you ain't got an education, she's the 4th grade math teacher, you the 6th grade science. Where's the educational need to know? It ain't one. Talk about their business again, I'm gonna write you both up. And you're gonna get fired. Stop discussing kids' business. And then, you know, the teachers be knowing certain parents and they be telling other parents your business. Yo, it's off the hook. That's why y'all got to check it. I'm sending a letter to the superintendent today, and I'm sending a letter to the state rep because the state rep enforces the law, and y'all violate my son's rights right here. So these are the big black 5, right? And then we have the other 8. Speech and language. You know what? I'm going to add speech and language as the big black 6. You know why? And I ain't got a problem with speech therapy. Because if you got a speech and language impairment, you don't go to special ed class, you get the therapist, right? Nothing wrong with that. But let me tell you what charter schools are doing. Remember, you get money for special ed, right? If I'm a charter school, I need some money, I know how I'm going to get me some. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start diagnosing kids with speech and language problems who ain't got it. That's going to give you that extra $7,000 from the state. They don't need no special class. It's just free money. So if somebody comes telling you you can get child needs speech therapy and you don't see nothing under the sun wrong, you know what they're about to do. They're about to hustle your child. It's the new hustle. Charter schools and public schools. Putting kids in special ed under speech and language who ain't got nothing wrong with them because it's easy money and you ain't got to provide no service. Make sure your child don't get hustled. Black kids are still new slavery in America. And then we got the other ones. Deaf kids, blind kids, traumatic brain injured children, orthopedically impaired children, multiple disabled children, kids who are both deaf and blind, developmental delay. Those are your special ed 13. Notice depression ain't up there, conduct disorder not up there, schizophrenia not up there, bipolar not up there, borderline, those are mental illness. Can you end up in special ed for them? Yes, but you first get diagnosed outside of school. If you ever have a school psychologist telling you, I diagnose your son as ADHD, and then I'll put him in special ed. You can't do that. That's called double jeopardy. Well, I'm a licensed psychologist. I'm allowed to diagnose clinical disorders. You are, but not in schools you can't. Did y'all hear what I said? Because see, some psychologists know you don't know the law. They will diagnose him as ADHD as a clinical psychologist, and then put him in special ed as a school psychologist. That's double jeopardy. They cannot do that. That diagnosis should have came outside from somebody else. Don't let them fuel up on your child. Another reason why you need to be careful about special ed, if you decide to put your child in a private school because they were in special ed before, diagnosed with a disability, the charter school can keep them out. Excuse me, not charter. Charter schools must take them. The private school can keep them out. I'm going to say that again. You want to help keep your child out of a private school? Put them in special ed beforehand. They can legally say no. We do not service kids with disabilities. I'm sorry. What's another trick that private school do? They don't have special ed, right? Which means they don't need to have a school psychologist, right? But they do have a school psychologist, right? Why does the white private school got a school psychologist even though they ain't got special ed? To get rid of your child. It goes like this. We think Raheem has some reading problems. We would like our school psychologist to test him to see if he needs any extra help. They never tell you they don't have special ed. Guess what? They want him out. They don't like it, behavior problem or whatever. They come back and say, our psychologist found out that Raheem has a reading disability. And because he does, he can no longer stay here. Because he needs services that we don't have. I'm sorry. You got to go back to Baltimore Public Schools and get in contact with the director of special ed. I wish you good luck, but he cannot stay here because he's disabled. And our policy clearly says we don't take children with disabilities. And you say, if I knew y'all didn't take kids with disabilities, I would have never let y'all test them. I know, that's why we didn't tell you. That's the ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Wow. Well, she didn't tell me. Ain't no law say they got to tell you that they ain't got special ed. They played you. Now, one of the things we got to do a better job at, black people, FDMG resumes. Let me put my phone number up here too so y'all have it. And my sign-up list still going around, right? Make sure everybody sign it. Name, phone number, email. If you know the name of the committee, which I didn't finish going over, my ADHD kicked in. Committee number 1, special ed. Committee number 2, school discipline. Okay, let me do these. Special ed is committee number 1. Committee number 2, school discipline. These are not in order. School discipline, we're going to investigate the suspension, the detention, and the expulsion rate of black children in Pasadena, Maryland. How many boys are suspended every day? How many kids are suspended every marking period? What are they suspended for? Which schools are doing the most suspending? Which teachers and which principals are initiating it? We have to do this so we can fight back by having meetings with who? The superintendent, the assistant superintendent, the director of school culture for the district. We can also sit down with our state rep, the state senator, and say, hey, you're in charge of the schools. We need some changes going on here. Once we start sitting down and meeting with them, things are going to begin to change because we're going to have our data together and everything. Talking about revolution. Black parents in America have never been organized, not nationally. And we're about to do it. And it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you now, especially for those of y'all who say, I want to be an organizer. Be careful now. The first thing the school district going to do is going to see if they can find something in your background that they can use and call the Baltimore Sun on you to do a story. Okay? So you got to make sure you tight. How's she helping you? Her kids don't even come to school. How he helping you? He go in and out of jail. How's she helping you? Them kids be dirty. How they? You see? This is what they gonna say? How's she gonna be a part of the parent association leadership? Her kids don't even do their damn homework. Make sure your laundry is clean now, because they're gonna come at you. They're gonna come at you. The minute we step to the schools and say, listen, we want 25% more black male teachers. We don't care where you get them from, but you better get them. And if you can't find them, you better certify some of these brothers with bachelor's degrees who ain't got no job. Oh, God. We're talking about laying off white teachers. That's revolution. You want to know why Obama hasn't done nothing about schools? You want to know why the governor of Maryland hasn't done nothing about schools? You want to know why your city council and mayors don't do nothing about school? Because you got to take on the teacher union. You're talking about the largest union in the United States. We have more teachers than we have of anything else. You're talking about the American Federation of Teachers and the National Education Association. You're going to take on them? You're talking about tens of thousands of organized white females. You're talking about a union that collects a certain amount of dues. They got millions of dollars to throw at you. That's why lawyers don't like to sue schools. Because you're dealing with, what do we call it? When something is an undiluted white power. And they scared them. Bringing in black male teachers, laying off white teachers, they're not happening. It's not popular politically. You don't get elected doing that. When's the last time you heard of a black elected official who said, I'm going to bring some black male teachers in? Who you heard say that? In public. Anywhere in America. Since you've been born. Anytime, right. They want to say it. But if I do that, what's going to happen to my votes from the teacher union? Zoop. don't want no black men in the schools. Masculine black men in the schools. And I got to disqualify something. Because I was on the radio in Chicago the other day. I was talking to some of the LBGT brothers, right? And they was like, the reason we got to marry the black struggle to the gay struggle is because we're both equally oppressed. Stay with me. And I said, with all due respect, my brother, with all due respect, if you look at the black male professional in the past 5 years, he has went from more masculine to effeminate. He may not have been gay, but he was damn sure more effeminate. I said America would rather hire an effeminate black male than a masculine one because they're more safe and comfortable.
That's right.
Any of y'all go to college? Look at the black male professors at your college. Not all of them. You might got a couple brothers with swag. But if you notice, the tendency is for the effeminization.
That's right.
Got me? City government. Wall Street. The church. You notice how it's gotten more feminine over the past 5 years? And brother started jigging. Over the past 5 years, you see?
Yeah.
Right? We ain't deriding nobody, but the war is not against a homosexual black man. In fact, I would argue that he might even benefit from a black gay male privilege. Are y'all following me? I think there is a black gay male privilege in white America.
That's right.
Yeah.
He may not have that privilege in black America.
Yeah.
Okay? But in white America, you're more likely going to get the job than me. If I'm going for a professor job at the University of Maryland, and I walk in there with my swag and he come in the feminine, tight jeans and all that, who's going to get the job? He getting the job because you pose no threat.
Right.
Who's filling up the jails? A feminine black man? Masculine black man. The war is against masculine black men. If you have a backbone, it is hard to find work.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
So true. No, I didn't say the gay black man shouldn't have a job. Somebody here probably work for the Baltimore Sun. They're going to have a post writer. You know, they called me all week, right? They text me, they called me. Can we please just have a moment of your time? We want to get your response. When the college is canceling of your lecture, I don't talk to them. Because all you're going to do is take what I say and remix it all up. And by me talking to you, I legitimize your article that had as its sole purpose a character assassination of me. So I don't even talk to the media. I ain't got no clue. What Malcolm X say about the media? Malcolm said they can make wrong right and right wrong.
That's right.
That's the whole purpose of the media. Teach you how to think.
That's right.
And one of the biggest things they're trying to change in black America now is how we think about the black man. Have you noticed that every show on TV is an attack against the black man?
Yes, it is.
Empire, Scandal, all the reality shows. If you're a black child watching TV in America, what show do you watch to see a positive black family? Can somebody tell me?
None.
Rerun.
Was it black man?
He said, what's happening?
Maybe the comment. Maybe the comment.
It's not up there.
That's right.
They're attacking the image. They're trying to make black girls like, listen, you don't want no black man.
That's right.
The way basketball wives and them be doing the brothers on there. And if you're a black man, you don't want no black woman. They all materialistic and thirsty and money hungry.
That's right.
Right? So they're trying to condition our children away from the family. The war is against the family. It ain't about the black man just alone. It ain't about the black woman. It ain't about the black child. It's about that whole unit. Kill it.
Damn right.
You kill the beehive, you don't get no more bees. You got to recognize, y'all, they've been trying to get rid of us for a long time.
Yes, sir.
Abortion. Kill more black children than the brothers on the corner. I hope y'all know that. We lose more black children through abortion than we do through homicide. Why am I do a story on that? Because nobody cares if we abort our kids. Nobody cares if we commit suicide, even though suicide rate is higher than the homicide rate. Nobody cares. We only care about gun-toting black men because that right there is a threat to the maintenance of the social order.
Yes, sir.
Anything else y'all do to kill it yourself, go right ahead. We'll even help you. That's why they only worry about gun violence. Because you can potentially not use that gun on each other one day. That's why it's a concern. Suicide, abortion, oh hell. AIDS, Ebola, whatever. So they got all these strategies designed to reduce the growth of black folks. And that's why when I said homosexuality was a struggle, they said we're going to cancel his election. But for what? I'm just stupid when I said homosexuality was another strategy. I can prove it. If you look at the population control agenda, it started and intensified the same time the homosexual agenda did. Anybody doing the research can see it. 1974, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger puts together the National State Security Memorandum on what? Population control.
Yes, sir.
What did he say? We need to start teaching sex education in the schools as a weapon to reduce black birth rate. And he also named 12 African countries that he said should be specifically targeted for population control. And every black country he named, including Nigeria, got a gay explosion. Ain't no conspiracy, it's tic-tac-toe, checkers.
Right.
Oh, but you don't have any research. What white scholar has said the same thing as you say? That's how they control the truth. What research you have to say that? Like when we say the hospitals is killing our babies. What research you have? So you want me to find a white person who cared enough about black babies to do some research to show that the hospital is killing them? Some of y'all didn't believe me when I told you to stop immunizing yourself and your children.
That's right.
What is he doing? He's not no doctor. He's not that kind of doctor. He's a talk therapist doctor. Well, did y'all see that? This article came out today. In Kenya, was it Kenya? Yeah. They were giving mothers, well, it was supposed to be for what? Flu? Tetanus. They was giving the mothers in Kenya a tetanus shot to prevent getting whatever you get. What you get if you don't get the tetanus shot? Rabies. I'm psychology, not you. Okay, lockjaw and tetanus, right? Here's what they found out. They found out that the serum was infected with a sterilization chemical. We don't know how that got in here. Y'all really think they only doing it over there? You think when you go to Walgreens and get that flu shot?
That's right. That's
You
right.
think ain't nothing in that Walgreens flu shot?
That's right.
You go to your doctor and give your child a measles, mumps, and rubella shot, 3-year checkup shots. You think ain't nothing in those?
Come on.
You better wake up and smell the coffee. You never heard of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment?
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When they gave those brothers immunization that they were told would prevent you from getting syphilis, but it was actually syphilis.
Syphilis, right.
Well, they wouldn't dare do that no more. We have a black president. You know how I feel sorry for when Obama gone? Sharp. You know why? The white folks going. Can you imagine they were doing him when Obama gone? Think about it. They are going to get him. I don't know what kind of skeletons he got, but he better get him out the closet now. He got 18 months. They are going to destroy him.
Yes, they are.
They're going to take away that privilege he had